Hi everybody, it's me, the Confused Turtle. Today I'm going to be playing Year Walk. I'm recording a review for the game, and I figured I would also go ahead and put together a quick Let's Play or a quick playthrough of it while I went ahead and did it, because I did get the footage. I kind of want to refresh my memory of the game as I put this review together. It's going to be for a new series that I'm working on. Well, all series are new series for me at the moment, called Past Due Reviews, where basically I go through and review video games that frankly should have been reviewed a long time ago, but since I wasn't doing this a long time ago, I'm going to go ahead and do them now. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Year Walk, and I've played through it before. It's a lot of fun. It's a great story, and it's not a terribly long game, so I should be able to get this in just one or two episodes here. So let's go ahead and get this started. In the old days, man tried to catch a glimpse of the future in the strangest of ways. They locked themselves in dark rooms, not partaking of food and drink. At the stroke of midnight, they ventured out into the night through the dark woods, where strange creatures roamed. To see if they would be wealthy, to see if they would be happy, to see if they would live, to see if they would be loved. Alright, so here we go. This is Year Walk. See these little instructions down on the lower right hand side of the screen? As far as I know, because I never really paid that close attention in my original playthroughs, that's about all the instructions you get in this game. Looking up top, we do have we have a hint section that you can get information on the game if you want to get that information. I never did. Thank goodness. This is actually an achievement to get through the game without using any hints, and I actually didn't even realize that was there through most of my initial playthrough. But once I did figure it out, I was really grateful that I didn't end up using any of those hints. One thing I did do, however, in this game was I took a lot of notes. This is one of the first games I played that actually required me to take notes. There's a lot of portions of the game where it expects you to remember patterns or sequences and then repeat them a little bit later on within the game. Now, I don't know if you can go back and get this information again at a later time. I just took notes the first time through because I didn't want to have to deal with any of that. So we'll go ahead and get started and see what we can see how far we can get tonight. I don't know if I'm going to do the full playthrough. It's only you can get through the whole game in about half an hour if you know what you're doing. But we'll just go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that we got to do is get to the windmill. Now, one thing I like about this game is if you want the full ending, it does require 2 playthroughs, and I will go over that in my review when I do it. But it does require 2 playthroughs to get the actual full ending. Oops, and I completely forgot what I was going for a second. One of the achievements that you can get in this game is going through the entire game without looking at your map. I will be looking at my map during this playthrough, mainly because I already have that achievement, so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, there's the windmill. Let's go ahead and head in. And look who it is. It's Stina. Or Stina. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. There you are. I've been waiting for you all day. Oh, she's smiling. You should not go outside without a hat on a cold day like this. You will freeze your ears off. I am quite fond of the person those ears belong to. Oh, I'm fond of you too, Stina. Did anyone see you come here? Oh, why aren't you smiling anymore? Now you're being silly. You know that I'm not ashamed of you. It's not that. I like you very much. But you and I come from different worlds. He is waiting for my answer. I said I'd give it to him next year. And this is the last day of this year. What to do? Now you're being unfair. This isn't any easier for me. I don't like it when you're like this. Calm down. You're walking? I hope you're joking. You do remember what happened to my cousin, don't you? Promise me you won't do anything foolish. We are not supposed to know what happens in the future. You should hurry home to your cottage and get some rest. It's getting dark soon. Hurry home to your cottage. Is that it? You should probably go. You really should hurry home now. Alright, I'll go. Alright, so that's Stunna. So basically, what it sounds like she's saying is, me, my name is Daniel Svensson, I think is what it was, and her, they are lovers, if you will. But she apparently has been asked to marry someone else within the village, someone I would say that's a little more high to do, somebody that would be more respectable for her to marry. And that interaction would tell me that they don't, that they want to get married, they love each other. Whether or not that's true or not, we'll find that out. All right, so now we got to go back to the cottage. Let's go ahead. So apparently there are a few more hints down below, but again, not much. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the map because I don't want to waste any time. Okay, go down, go over, go up, go over, go down, go over. There we go. And I'm back at my no, where am I? I don't know where I'm going, folks. I already forgot what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I gotta go down again. See, that's why the map is there. I completely forgot. I haven't played this game for a while, so there we go. I'm at my cottage. Let's go into my cottage. Now this is where it is implied that you begin your year walk. You'll be able to notice immediately when the screen comes back. Oh, which reminds me, this is something I thought was really cool. The way that they have you interact with the logo to open it up. Did I miss anything? Nope, there we go. So as we return, you'll be able to notice immediately the environment has changed. There's now a dark red hue in the background. It also implies it's nighttime. But I always got the sense of... I mean, it looks dark, but I always felt like it was meant to be red, as in blood. Now this is the great thing about this game. At this point, you have no idea what to do anymore. They didn't give you any indication. They didn't give you any direction. Those hints at the bottom of the screen, those are gone. So now we are trying to figure out what we need to do. Now there's a lot of clues in this game. Some of these clues, even though I managed to beat the game and get the full ending, I still never fully understood what all of these clues meant, or how they affected the game as a whole. But maybe I'll figure it out this time around. Okay, also, as I pull the map up, you're going to see that we've unlocked everything. Now, we can go just about anywhere within the game. Now, to get things started, you actually want to go to the church. That's where the game gets going. However, again, there's no indication that that's what you want to do. Now, if you know anything about year walking, I suppose you do have a little bit of an indication as the myth goes. In order to year walk, as it said in the introduction, you would cut yourself off from anybody else and deny yourself food or drink. However, once you leave your house at the stroke of midnight to begin your year walk, you will travel to the church. There's a ritual that you perform at the church, which will then allow you to see the church grim, I think it's called. And that is kind of the whole point of year walking. If you look into the heart of the church grim, then you will be able to see the future, or gaze into the future, as they say. So we are looking to get up to the church, and that's where we're going to begin our adventure. I just went in a big circle. Okay, let's go back over and up and over. Over the hill, there we go. Over, and then up, and here we are. Excellent. So now we're going to get our first clue. And this is another great thing about this game that I love a lot. All clues, all indications of what you're supposed to do, everything is visual. So right here, you're seeing where you need to go. This looks cryptic, but this is actually telling you exactly where you need to go in order to get your key, essentially. So now we're going to go there. Now, when I first played this, and let me tell you, it took me a long time to find that location. I found it by pure chance the first time that I played this. But really, it is because it's kind of hard to explain. So from here, I want to go. Not there. Okay, I want to go down, back. Okay, yep. So I want to actually go back up. I'm not really good at remembering where I'm supposed to be going after looking at the map. Alright, so up. Go back up. And I want to come this way. And then down. And then I think back this way. Oh, sorry. And then down. And then over, and then down, and then all the way over. And there she is. You can see right where it was. You see the trees. It's essentially exactly the scene that they showed you with the key. However, you just got to find it. So, another great thing about this game, as you might notice, it's very quiet. You can hear every footstep. The music is there, but it's so mellow, it's so subdued that it's not overpowering. This game is very, very sound driven, and I love it because a lot of times the music can be very overpowering and can kind of control the atmosphere of the game. However, in this situation, the music does not define the atmosphere. It does not define the way you feel about the game. It enhances it. It's in conjunction with the visuals, with the sound effects, with what you're experiencing. It all is one package that's kind of working together to bring you a certain sensation or certain feelings. And a lot of times in this case, I feel like it's a sense of dread. So we open up a new path. Now we come here. We're getting another visual cue right here. That cue, we have the nymph. I believe it was the nymph in the tree with owls on either side. So obviously we can't get in, but we can see what we can do. We can interact with the owls. So we need to figure out how do we get in the tree. Well, we come to the shed, and there it is. We've got again the lady and the owls. So we need to, and I was never very good at getting this to actually go. There we go. So now we're going to get there it is. There it is. So now we have what we need. Now we know how to get in because of the visual cues and everything. So we're going to go back to tree, and I believe I'm looking at my notes. I actually didn't write it back down this time, and I probably should have, but I'm looking at my notes, so it's. Yep, there we go. Yes, I am cheating a little bit, and I'm doing that for the sake of getting through. Like I said, I've played it. I got the answers. I worked hard to get these. Now this is a puzzle that I don't know if there was any kind of secret solution to this puzzle hidden somewhere in the game. It's very possible. I never found it. I didn't look very hard, but what I did was I actually just trial and errored it. So it's, if you look, we have these items. So there's 1, 2, and there's a set one that you have to go into. So that was 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last one is 7. Now you can go the other way too, but I never actually counted to find out how many there were to see how many I would need to go back in order to go the other direction. So that's just me being lazy. And here we go. I know that's coming, and I still get goosebumps every time. That freaked me out when I first played this game. I'm not gonna lie to anybody about that. I mean, it's not even that loud. The jump scare isn't, but it's just so creepy. I loved it. Tree's not dead. We're gonna get our next indication of where to go to get the key. So let's go click on that. Ah, water. Excellent. Now we know. Alright, let's go back. Let's go back. And these are another thing. So these give you an indication of how you can complete the game. I've already done them, but I'm trying to remember. There is, in one of these stones, there is the solution to these puzzles here, these diagrams. So when I find one of those and I remember what that is, I'll come back to it and I'll walk you through that. But yeah, kind of getting not really ahead of myself, but okay, I don't want to be over here. This is where that thing. So now we're going to the water horse. Hello, Mr. Waterhorse. Alright, now this really got me into the story of the game. At this point, when I was first playing it, I thought this is kind of neat, but I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. How do I get involved in this? So then, when I came here, it really draws your attention up here with the blood on the book. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in here. We're gonna go to the myling. Now, a myling is, well, we'll read it right here. Myling. The myling. Some mylings died at the hands of angel makers. The angel maker would typically be paid by the child's poor mother to find a decent home for the infant. When the mother left, the infant was murdered. Typically, the mylings were murdered by their mothers, often unmarried women who had been left to fend for themselves. The myling would commonly be left in the woods to die, or they would have been drowned by their mothers in brooks or bogs. Some mylings died at the hands of angel makers. The angel maker would typically be... Okay, and then it just kind of goes through that again. The most common way for the myling to haunt was through a horrible wailing sound. The myling might take the form of a ball of light similar to those of an Erbloss, Scandinavian will-o'-the-wisp, and lead the curious traveler astray. Sometimes they would cry for their mothers to breastfeed them, which would apparently set them free. One story from Bergslagen tells of an old farmer on his way home through the forest. He is approached by a small child who follows him and says, "Grandfather, grandfather, I am so hungry." The old man tries to ignore it, but the child keeps on nagging, so finally the old man loses his patience. "If you can find something to feed you, then feed, but you won't get any milk from me." The child seems pleased and leaves. When the old man comes home, he finds his daughter lying dead on the floor, bleeding from her chest. The child he met was the spirit of his murdered grandson. A person who helped the Mylings find their way. Let me start that over. A person who helped the Mylings find their way to the other side was often left with a gift. According to some sources, the Myling would be taken by other supernatural creatures such as Hobbs, or if it had been drowned, the Brook Horse. So we're going to go ahead and click on him. That's going to bring us back out here to the Brook Horse. Oh, sorry. Let's do this the proper way. Click and hold. There we go. Alright, so now this guy is the Brook Horse. So if we go back to the encyclopedia, we can read about the Brook Horse. The Brook Horse. Sweden is a country that has a lot of folk tales. Rivers, a lot of lakes. I'm sorry. It's late. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Sweden is a country that has a lot of lakes, rivers, streams, and brooks, and Swedish folklore is filled with strange creatures residing in the dark waters. The Brook Horse was a pale horse who lived in creeks or lakes, luring children to ride on its back. Wow. Maybe I should just stop now while I'm ahead. The Brook Horse's spine grew for every rider that it lured to the top of its back. When the Brook Horse was satisfied, it leaped into the water, whereupon the children drowned. The Brook Horse had a lot in common with the Nix, a handsome young fiddler who lured young girls down into the water, and according to some, they were one and the same. It's likely that the Brook Horse was made up to keep children from playing too close to the water. One of the more unusual descriptions comes from a story told in the north of Dalarna. A young man is on his way home from his work at a charcoal kiln. He decides to wash up at a nearby creek. The man finds a strange stone formed like a small child in the water. He picks it up. The man notices that he's not alone. He's being watched by a horse walking on two legs. The horse stretches out a human hand to the man, who gets frightened and runs home to a shack he shares with his fellow workers. He tells the tale to his comrades, who laugh at him and call him a drunken fool. He shows them the stone that now looks quite ordinary. The man curses and goes to bed. When the workers wake up the following morning, they find the man dead in his bed, his lungs filled with water, and the stone nowhere to be seen. The Brook Horse was almost always closely associated with death, not always in a negative way. For instance, in the sad folktale Lyle Nils, the Brook Horse is the one who finally leads the little Nils' soul home and thus ends his long series of misfortunes. Now, this is another clue here, if you think about it, because I'll show you. So, in that story, they talk about going back to his shack with his fellow workers. So, if you go over to the left here, actually, and real quick, this is where you can see where you can get your designs, and they match up with the symbol on the top, I believe. So, moving on. If you go all the way to the left here, you can also, we have this blood trail, and then we have a shack. Coming in here, we can unlock this, open it up, and there's the next Myling. Let's go ahead and take this back to the Brook Horse. Now, obviously, that would not be too difficult to find, so it's not like it was necessarily a clue saying, "Hey, you got to come here if you want to find the next Myling." But it's just kind of neat how they tied those two things together, I think. Maybe not. All right, now we need to find the next one. Now, again, I know where these are, so go ahead and just go grab them real quick. Go here. Go here. Yep. Okay. No? Is it down there? I think it is. Maybe not. I kind of forget where this one is. Up and up and over. Up and over. Oh, come on. Where are you? Where? But it is over there. Actually, let's go over there. Up and over. Up again. Over here. No, where? Well, I'm this close. I'll just go ahead and get this one until I can remember where the other one is. So, yep, blood. Here we go. I know it's up there, but we need to get it down. Again, that gets me every time. Okay, we got another myling. And that's one of the things I really love about this game. It's subtle, but it's terrifying at times. Apparently Windows is going to restart my device outside of active hours. So they say. Alright, one last myling to get. And then we can move on to the next challenge. If I can find him. Or her. It could be a her. Not judging. I'm not assuming anyone's gender here. It's not over there. There it is. Bloodstains lead the way. And there we go. Now, I feel like I talked a lot during this video, and I do apologize for that. The atmosphere in this game does require a bit more subtlety. Moving forward, I will try and be a little bit more subtle. Maybe not talk so much. Alright. Now, we got our next clue. And we have light. We have light that we can take with us. And the water is now blood red. So where might we take this light? We're going to take this light where are we going to take this light? Not here. Alright. I'm not going to waste my time. No, I was right. I was up here. We're going to take it in here. This light gives us the ability to see what's going on. Ooh, come back. There we go. We can just leave that light in there. I don't think it's actually going to leave us. So now, And that is actually by far the easiest one, the easiest puzzle to achieve. So if you look over here again, we see we got more of these statues here. Again, kind of telling you the different solutions. So let's go ahead and let's go to one of the statues and kind of walk through that, and I'll show you how that works. Because I need to get some of that for the video that I'm also recording for my review. I need to be able to see that, so I might as well go do that. So let's see here. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there. So we want to come over here to this statue because I think it's all in one. Oops. Down. Nope. Back up. Up, 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 and away. There we go. Oh, the music in this game, it's so subtle. I love it. Sound design. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if I can remember how to do these. Okay, so there's one. I want to go. No, no, no. Can I go back? I gotta leave. Okay, I screwed that one up. Okay, come back. Let's go there, 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 and there. And then lastly, let's go there, 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 and there. And so now we're going to get some information here. So this is telling us the pattern to follow when we get to the end of the game here. That'll make sense when I show it to you. Were you paying attention? Did you get that? Alright. Come here, key. Alright, now we need to go back to the church. So, here we go. Alright, now I can get in the church. So, this is one that I never really figured out completely. So, you would have noticed when we were running around that there are the trees have these figures on them. And they've got... Yes, those trees have figures on them. And then in that cellar, they had similar figures with dots underneath them. Those dots, of course, all have some kind of numerical value to them. And so what I did was if you match the dots... Sorry, if you match the figurines in the dots in the cellar to the figures and the symbols on the trees, you get the solution here. Well, I found... so let's see here. So I got... so I found... Again, referring back to my notes. So I found that the nymph was 4. Because the nymph had this sign. Can't really see it. I apologize for that. I apologize if you can't hear me either. With 4 dots in the cellar. You know what? I'll just show you instead of trying to put a stupid paper in front of you guys so you can't see. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the map. I think that's a good example. So, actually we'll go to that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go into the cellar first because there's a tree on the way to the cellar. Okay, yeah, so we've got the horse here, and we've got this symbol on the horse. So then if we go into the cellar and we find that symbol, we see it has 2 dots. So, I wrote that down, wrote down the symbol and the dots. See, we got this one, which has 3 dots, which is like kind of the peace sign there. And then if we come over, and some of these just seem to be redundant. But let's see here. Then we've got. Okay, so we've got this one with 4 dots, which was on the tree with the nymph, and then I believe that was it. So I believe that's what I needed. So now if I come back out, I can go look at the other trees. So I'll go down. So there's the bird, and we've got that symbol there. So that was a 3, if we remember, from the cave. Let's see, where's the other tree? Down, over, and up. Come over here. We've got this tree, which was the wood nymph, with that symbol, which we remember was 4. And then, so the next tree is up. So then the last tree, oh, that wasn't a tree. Tree. Right. Okay, and then, yeah, so, and then I don't think there was a final tree, but there was this totem here that has the goat head on it, which kind of looks like a tree on the map, but there's no symbol along with it aside from, of course, the goat head. So I never officially found that final puzzle piece, which was the myling here. However, through trial and error, I figured out, well, based off of the symbols that I found, I figured out what everything else was. And so I essentially just had to go through each one until I found it. So apparently there's another tree there somewhere with a myling that I missed somewhere that has the 2. Has the same symbol for the 2. So now it's time to find the church grim. So real quick, let's go ahead and go to our encyclopedia. Let's find out about the church grim. Of all the creatures in Swedish folklore, the church grim was doubtlessly the most complex and certainly the most feared. Little is known of it, since it was considered bad luck to even speak about it. The church grim's appearance varied, which could possibly be attributed to the nature of the church grim's origin. When a church was built in medieval times, an animal was sometimes buried alive under the floors, most commonly goats, since these were comparatively cheap. There have also been stories of criminals being buried alive as punishment. In other versions, the criminal's heart was cut out and placed inside an animal carcass that was sacrificed. The heart was central in many of the myths surrounding the grim. The stories from the south of Sweden told that if you could touch the church grim's heart, you could stare into the eye of creation. The church grim guarded the church against thieves and grave robbers, but because of it, even honest folk avoided the church at night. Some stories say that if you were unlucky enough to be the last one to die during the year, you would serve the church grim the following year. There are other stories that suggest that the church grim was not a guardian at all, but rather a sort of parasite that was drawn to the energy of the church. While there it fed on people's hopes, dreams, and fears, a recent and controversial theory suggests that the church grim was closely related to a nameless Bronze Age deity. So that's what we're about to meet up with. The Huldra, I've been calling it a wood nymph this whole time. It's a Huldra was the first creature that we interacted with, and then the Night Raven was the bird that we finally got the key from. So let me get that. Okay. Okay. So now we need to perform the final ritual to see the church grid. So, if you remember, by completing the gravestone challenge or puzzle, we learned that we need to go left twice. We need to go right twice. Because each arrow represented 2 turns because of the double arrow. We'll go left 2 more times. We'll go right 4 times. We'll go left 2 more times. And we'll go right 2 more times. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe it was just once. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'll try just one. I might have miscounted though. It's possible I'm wrong. It's been a while since I played it. But I was pretty sure it was 2 for each arrow. Oh, I was wrong. I apologize. I misremembered. Each arrow represents 1 turn. And here we just have some abstract puzzles to complete to reach the end of the first playthrough. It's too late now. You can't really fail these puzzles. You just kind of do things until they're done. One for each of the spirits. It can't be changed. Like that was being dramatic. I didn't do that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The decision has already been made. Oh. Oh, come on now. That should not have been that difficult. I screwed that up so many times. You must stop coming here. The neat thing about this is that it implies that this is not our first time being here. We've walked before. It also implies that there's another ending. I don't love you anymore. What does that tell us? We know the future. We know what happens. Where does this path lead us? Can't be anywhere good. Everything's bright again, which means we're no longer year walking. What happened? What did we do? Stenna. What have we done? We killed her. Yeah, that's what we did. We killed her. I want this song on my iPod. I love this song. So good. Now I'm going through the credits. I'll probably fast forward through this, primarily because we've got another ending to find. Okay. So there is something that you can do. Okay, it's gonna ask us if we want to walk again. Written it all down? Why, yes, I have. It's right here. Everything that happened, it can be changed. Deliver the message. The journal. Clues. The secret is hidden. North of the mill. And south of the bridge. Remember, a secret. North of the mill, south of the brook. Did I say bridge the first time? I need to go to bed. Walk again? Yes, I would like to walk again. So here's where things get interesting. So there's a portion of the game that I can now unlock. I believe you could unlock it before. I never actually really tried it, but there's a number of journal entries and things like that about the guy who was researching the game. Now, it's fictionalized, of course, but within these notes is the pattern to unlock the box. You saw the box. You know what box I'm talking about. This box. I didn't talk about the box. I didn't touch the box, and there's a very good reason for that. At the time, I knew nothing about the box. I didn't know what to do with the box. So if you come up here, you got this unlocked. We got this, sorry, locked journal. If we go to the map, we have clues. North of the mill and south of the brook. Now, I don't think that information. Oh, there it is, right there. So if we come up north of the mill, we have. I don't know what that word says, but basically Theolm 68. And down below, we have 1894. So that's our login information. So if we come back in here, we can go Theolm 68 and 1894. Sign in. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these notes. I read them all. It took a while. I read all these notes, and let me just tell you, some of them took a while. But if we go, let's go ahead and find one of the clues, if I can remember. Okay, so these pictures, this one is actually a very obvious clue, but some of these pictures give you the code needed to unlock the box here. They're not all as obvious as that first one. I mean, they're not terribly difficult to find, but it does require that you go through all of these notes. If you want the full official ending, you actually need to come through and look at every one of these notes in order to find all the symbols and the order that they're in. Now, I actually have these symbols written down twice. One is for an achievement, and one is to actually get in. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't remember which of my notes is which. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try this one first. I think it's that one, and then that one. Okay, that must not be it, so let's go ahead and... Oh, wait a minute. I might have done that wrong. Let me take a look at it. Yep, I did that wrong. Let's try that again. So we'll do you. I think it's you. I think it's you. I think it is you. I think it is you. And then I think it's... Nope, still did that wrong. Alright. Alright. Well, that wasn't it either. Let me take a look here. I must not have written something down right. I actually seem to remember figuring that out at one point. But then apparently didn't care enough to correct my notes. Alright, I'm going to go check on this. I will be right back. Alright, and I'm back. I realized what I had done. You see that symbol right there? The one that looks like a circle? It's not a circle. That's me scribbling something out. That's not right. I should make a note of that. I made notes of everything else. Alright, here we go. Upside down triangle, half circle, square, not a circle, but a triangle, and then the upside down half circle. There we go. So this is more information about. So in short, I mean, if you're watching this, I should have said at the beginning, very spoiler heavy. In short, this is a news article that the guy researching for the game found when researching the game about Daniel Svensson, the protagonist, and having murdered his lover, Stena. So he put that in the box, which apparently travels through time because of year walking, and now it's been given to my character to read. And there's a long note. I'll go ahead and read that one. Actually, I'll read the whole thing. I'll read the whole thing. Kristianstad, January 21st. Yesterday morning, Kedtorp killer Daniel Svensson was executed at Kristianstad prison. He was found guilty for the heinous murder of young Stena Nilsson last year. The death sentence has been criticized by the highly renowned Dr. Helmer Lundback, who stated that Daniel is suffering from an abnormal psyche. He seems to have problems discerning past from present and has visions of terrible creatures, sometimes not uncommon among schizophreniacs. Daniel cannot be held accountable for his actions and should be given treatment at an institution for the criminally insane. The execution was performed by Gustav Dahlberg. This was his fourth execution. Last year, he was to perform the execution of the notorious Lisa Rasmussen, who was charged with the murder of 4 infants in Vedtrop, but who took her own life before the sentence could be carried out. Security has been improved greatly since. Now that's interesting. If you remember, when we did the Brookhorse task, there were 4 Mylings. Those 4 Mylings represent the 4 children Lisa Rasmussen here murdered. I just think that's a neat little touch. Daniel Svensson was composed during the whole process, besides the slightly shaking hand so common among the criminal type. You cannot tell Daniel from any other young men. He sobbed loudly once he laid his head down low, but quickly regained his composure. A quick prayer and a swift, powerful stroke, and it was over. According to the attending priest, Granathan, Daniel's last words were, "I should have killed myself, then none of this would have happened." Okay. Now the note from the researcher to Daniel. You are long dead when I write this, and I have not yet been born. Yet we have a connection beyond life, death, space, and time. The impossible made possible by year walking. But the Watchers always win. Even though you've not passed through the rift yet, they sense the urge and they want their sacrifice. I wish there could be another way. I am sorry, but for her there is still hope. You can save her. You know what you must do. And then he left a knife. This is the knife used to kill Stena. And now it's used to kill yourself. Saving Stena's life, saving your own sanity and humanity. You take your own life, and the game ends. I will say, though, that I don't care for this music as much as I care for the music with the unhappy ending. Take that for what you will. Well, I'm not going to make it through the credits again. I've been the Confused Turtle. This has been Year Walk. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back soon. I'm really hoping to get a lot of really fun and interesting things up on the channel in the near future. Some of the quality will be hopefully increasing very shortly. I've got some more equipment on the way to try and make this the best possible channel that I can make it. I'm still learning. I've got a lot to learn. I got a lot to do. So I do hope that you bear with me, and let's make this channel grow together. So that being said, good night, good luck, and tune back in. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.
Oh, the joy, I can see the light. Oh, the joy, I can see the light. Lo, a burning torch appears in the distance, bright and clear. Oh, the joy, I can see the light.